working?
Yep, it's working. Live. It's not rolling here though.
Huh?
It's not rolling on live.
Yeah, it's gonna be delayed.
Oh, okay.
All right. Good afternoon, backseaters. Happy Thursday. Welcome back with the CAT team. Sorry for the absence. You were with Thomas Eaglestrom, and I think you might have met him down at Cisco, but I'll reintroduce him. He's our newest CAT team member, Teng Vang.
Hello, everyone. Hi, backseaters.
Teng, you've been down with the CAT team how long now?
For about 4 to almost 5 months now.
Okay. But the sheriff's office about 3 years, right?
Yep.
Okay. Actually, it's coming up on your guys' anniversary.
Coming up to 3, yep.
During the fair, right?
Yep, during the fair.
So Teng has been a long-time cop, started off at Crystal. Well, I'll actually let you give your little background here, Teng.
So I started as a police officer in the city of Crystal. I was hired there. I worked there for 5.5 years, and then I transferred over to Ramsey County. Reasons are that it's just more opportunity here in the county to do a lot more things, and being an investigator is probably one of my top things that I wanted to do, so that's why I decided to make that jump to come over to Ramsey County, and it's been a great move, and I enjoy it so far.
Teng is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He always has a smile on his face, and it's rather annoying sometimes. Sometimes, you know, I'll look over upset, he's just grinning. But seriously, if you ever see him out and about, he's great to talk to. You're from St. Paul, right?
Yeah, from St. Paul. I grew up in the right off of, I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but right off of Jackson and Mount Airy. That was Mount Airy Homestead Project area. I lived there for 18 years and then had to move out then. But most of my life, family, everything I do is still back here in St. Paul. Food, St. Paul is really good. Shout out to Cherry Pit this morning. We had lunch over there earlier. Great fries, burgers were good. So if you have a chance, stop by for sure.
Absolutely. Pat had some chicken wings, which looked awesome. Pat's been poking us to go for a while, and we don't always get the chance, and we were able to stop over this afternoon. So great afternoon lunch. So you can see why we brought Teng down. He's a St. Paul kid. Definitely used that experience to his advantage. Just a great all-around guy. We love having him. What do you think so far in the CAT team?
I like it. Like it's something that is different from what I'm doing. Like as patrol-wise, this is more something where you it's self-initiation, and then you follow through the case from the beginning all the way to the end until the suspect gets charged out. So it's something very new and good to see when you follow a case from the beginning all the way to the end. So it's very satisfying when you get to see it all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. He's doing an awesome job. I will say, and correct me if I'm wrong, I remember it's a weird transition from patrol. It's like what we do is a hybrid investigator street work. So not only are we doing the cases, we're doing all the casework, we're also supplying the arrests as well. So
yes, and like I was telling Thomas here, the difference of driving is way different. Where you it's in the city here, it's way busier. St. Paul here, a lot more traffic. So just driving around, getting around, you just gotta pay more attention, and a lot of more people out and about. So gotta be safe when we're driving around here for sure.
Absolutely. So it's been a quiet week. I haven't seen it this quiet in a long time. Was picking up. It seemed to be starting to get a little steady, and we took a turn, but we did have an active fresh motor vehicle theft. 166 George Street down off the west side there. What was it, a 3500 Ram work truck, single cab, was stolen with a trailer attached to it with a nice zero turn. Plopped right on there. Luckily there was good locations on it, some GPS. So St. Paul jumped right on it, got flight involved. We jumped in and assisted. Shout out to our dispatch and our intel team down Joe Miller and company did the tracking for it. It made quick work up to the east side here off of Johnson Parkway, and was it Rainy? I think Rainy. I located it on the north side, parked. We weren't sure if it was unoccupied or occupied at that time, and 2 St. Paul coppers got in the area, and we just took the bodies we had and we blocked it in, did a little pinch on it. It was unoccupied. Two male suspects were seen fleeing northbound through the yard. So pretty much from that point, we handed it off to St. Paul to do the canine track perimeter. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone was located. So we were just a little bit behind it. They definitely drove it like they stole it. but luckily the zero turn was still with it. It didn't appear damaged, so.
So, I think all in all, at the end of the day, we were able to recover it, so which is a good thing. And
it wasn't a lot. It was a tie, right?
It was a tie.
Yeah. No one got hurt. No damage to anybody's vehicle. The company got their vehicle back. Would have been great to make some arrests, but safety's always a priority, and they I don't know how they made it from west side. They ended up down off Randolph and 35E all the way up here and off of Johnson Parkway. So really good response by St. Paul and the other CAT guys. Got assistance from our non-fatal unit. They jumped in. So, but yeah, when I say it's been quiet, it's been the stolen activity has been quiet, I should say. Still your shots fired, all your calls for service, but on the CAT team front, we're trying to dig hard for some more. The stolens are out there. It's changed from when we started 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we could run out the door and within 5 minutes be onto a stolen, and it was just so prevalent. Right now, they're still out. It's just a little more sporadic. No, you don't see quite the activity we did, which is absolutely amazing. It was a great work between St. Paul, the Sheriff's Office, just kind of quelling the auto theft and activity in Ramsey County.
Yeah. It seems like auto theft has been going down, so I think that's probably the big reason why it's been slow lately.
Yep. Yeah, we do a monthly auto theft meeting where we pretty much invite any agency that has auto theft investigators or just is having an issue. We made a good conversation with Minneapolis, Maplewood, St. Paul, and just trying to info share, because all these vehicles, they're stolen from Hennepin, they're brought over to St. Paul or Scott County up to Hennepin, vice versa, but they end up all over the place, and without communicating together agencies, we miss a lot of important info that can be useful in prosecuting once we make arrests. So, Tang was an FTO.
Yep, I was FTO, and when I came over, I was FTO in Crystal, and I was also FTO here at Ramsey County. As y'all know, there's a shortage for police officers in general throughout the state, and it was a busy year. We trained a lot of new Ramsey County deputies in, and hopefully they all do well here. So it's the majority of them pass. So we have good guys out there, and we're also recruiting. So if you have people that you know, give them a shout out and let us know, and give us probably call one of us, and we can talk about it and see what their interests are, and kind of point them to the right direction in the right way.
Yeah, we're always looking for good candidates. The candidate pool's gotten small. I'm hearing some positive feedback that some of the law enforcement schools where we do skills are starting to see bigger groups come through, which that's great. We need great candidates in this industry, and I want to say, since I FTO'd, it has always been a consistent stream of people training, which it's great, right? There's people love training, but it's a lot of work, and to not get that break in between can be a little hard. Especially, the job's hard enough it is being out on patrol. But consistently having, a new person with you, trying to get them up to speed. And I don't envy the FTOs that we had, but they do a great job. So I brought Tang out today. He's going to eval me. It's a sergeant eval day, so he brought his FTO book.
I'm sure Thomas will do just fine. He's
no needs improvements.
No need of improvement. Yeah, being an FTO can get very stressful, because you're trying to teach the new officer or deputy, and then you also got to make sure you're looking out for them and they're doing the right thing, and make sure everyone's safe. So it's a big role to those FTOs. Everyone that has done FTO before, I'm sure they understand it. It's a lot of stress on their plate, and it takes a lot of energy and investment into getting these new officers or deputies onto the streets, because it takes a lot of time. Nobody comes out being good right away, so repetition is key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a disservice to new officers if we don't send them out prepared. Officer safety and the like. So, unfortunately, not everybody makes it through the FTO process. It's just right. It's not meant for everybody. There's different things. That's the one great thing about the sheriff's office. We have a bunch of different roles. There's always just different skill sets. But obviously, the job has changed from 70s, 80s, 90s, the early 2000s. Right. All the stories we hear when we came through. Technology has changed, so advanced. Society, the way we handle things, right? It's just become so developed. There's so much that you have to know, and so many things that you have to be well versed at as a patrol cop.
even laws change and laws gets updated. So you always got to educate and keep yourself up to date with these laws, and even case laws where you got to keep yourself updated so that you know how to do your job properly. There's a lot of things that we have to do. That's why we consistently train all the time to keep our skills sharp and up to date.
Yeah, it's never an excuse. I didn't know that we didn't know a law change, right? Just whether it might be practices that the way we're able to handle certain things, or procedures we're able to put in place as law enforcement officers that are handed down from the state. You can't say you didn't know, right? Because that's not a good excuse. It's our job to know, and
it's our job to know. And if we don't know, we gotta make sure we clarify it and understand it, or have somebody, maybe an attorney, explain what that new law is and break it down to you so it's easier to understand. Sometimes reading some of these law changes can get kind of it gets a little wordy. So,
and what's tough for law enforcement is everyone may review a law and interpret it differently, right?
Yes.
So you may talk to two different, let's say, prosecutors, and they might give you a varied explanation,
a term,
or cops may read things, and that's why it's good to be open-minded as a cop. Even once you pass FTO, you're never going to stop learning. There's not one cop out there that knows everything. There's not one prosecutor that knows everything, judge, etc. Right? That's why the criminal justice system is just there's so much depth to it, and it's always changing, right? Because they might make a law and then it goes to court and they realize it might have been a little flawed.
Right.
So I guess how I police, I try to err on the side of try to give as much leeway, right, or common sense to my application as possible.
Exactly.
I can't. It's bad. I don't remember in the last speeding ticket I gave.
Yeah. And even being a police officer and a deputy for 8 years now. I mean, it's nothing's ever like I don't know it all. It's still you're always learning new things every day, and it's always a learning thing for me. Every day I come here when you get critiqued or on things. Take it as a learning lesson all the time. So
we did that today after we had our truck incident, and there's a few things we always try to break it down, and this guy's driving on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah.
We're not in Europe.
Right.
Run this plate.
Yeah, we're just gonna see what this car is up to here.
George got touch base actually.
Yeah.
Might be a little
George North, Tom 776. Picking up somebody here.
Hey guys, I'm just checking in. You were on the wrong side of the road. You were cutting over? Okay. Yeah, just try to avoid that. It caused an accident driving out on the wrong way. So, no, we'll let you guys go on your way. Appreciate it. Thank you. Said he was cutting through. He's picking someone up, but...
Alright, so next time if you're cutting through, don't drive on the opposite side of the road, because that's not the proper way to do it. Crossing double yellows is not the right way to do it, right? So make sure we follow the traffic laws and comply.
As much as I'd love to be Dale Earnhardt on the road, I don't.
Right.
Yeah, it's job's always changing. I think back to when I did first responder training. So every law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota has to do a first responder training to become licensed as a peace officer.
Yeah.
From the training, first aid we learn then to now how we do it.
It's different.
How much that evolves every year and changes, and just CPR and what they recommend. It used to be. What is it? Now breaths are more, or is it not breaths are more important? It's the
compressions.
Compressions are more important. They used to pinpoint on breaths. So that's always changing. A matter of opinion. What doctor? I don't know if it's like a board or a team that comes up with the standards, but such is life, and it's a lot to take in. We do a lot of yearly training. Like firearm training, driving training. Some of the other stuff is tough, but we got to do it.
Right.
It's nice sometimes when we do online modules for those, because you can kind of break it down. It's tough to take in that type of info in such a big lump.
Yeah.
So much. Wow, I'm starting to trip over words. So much at one time.
Right. And for me, I'm a hands-on guy. So if I'm sometimes reading the screens and stuff like that, I kind of just get bored quick. So I like to do the hands-on stuff. Usually the hands-on training gets me. I'm more into it, and I learn better that way. But if just sit there and read a book or something, I can read it, but it'll get once it gets boring, then I just won't retain that information that I'm reading.
wonder when my next EVOC class is.
Isn't it?
It's every 5 years.
Yep.
Every 5 years.
Every 5 years. That class is always fun. You get to
Drive on a track.
drive on a track, push your limits, see how fast you can handle the car, and what you can handle and what you can't handle. So I think that's a good thing to do on a track safely.
So far today we had that stolen pickup truck. That was the highlight of the day. If you've been listening, there's not a lot of radio traffic. And that's across the whole county. So, it's good. Makes for long days.
Right.
Some days. Right now we're East District of St. Paul. Pretty much Ruth and Minnehaha area. Ruth and 3rd. Not too far from the Cherry Pit where we had lunch. Wow, this road is bad.
It's bumpy. Lots of road construction here on this east side here. Yeah, if anybody recommendations at the Cherry Pit, put it down, make a comment, so that me and Thomas, we can give it a shot next time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always I'm trying to venture out with my taste buds. I have a very 12-year-old like taste buds, so trying to expand it.
Anything for me, anything new, I'll try it once.
Oh, that road did some damage to the mount.
Yeah, it did. Also, if you guys, any one of your backseaters has any good recommendation for food wise on the east side here, put it down in the comments so that whenever we get a chance, we'll stop by, give it a shot.
I always forget about it, but I noticed there's a bunch of food trucks up by the
White Bear up there?
Yeah, White Bear and Lark in
Yeah.
the strip mall.
I tried it once. It was this barbecue truck.
There's like 10 up there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's like 10. I forgot what is it called, but it was not bad. It was pretty good.
You know, food trucks aren't as big. I think they're a lot bigger on the West Coast down south.
Yeah.
It's like my brother-in-law lived in Santa Monica, and there's a place out there where a bunch of food trucks go, and like that's where everybody goes
For the food?
on lunch break.
Yeah.
Well, just joining us here with Tang Vang, who is our newest addition to the CAT team, and Thomas Siegelstrom.
234.
Right.
234. Interrupt to the LAC bell mail.
Looks like Hennepin County's got an active stolen, doing some thefts. A Kia. Monitor that if it makes its way to RAMSEY.
Yeah, and the transition from like coming over from patrol to an investigator on the CAT team here, it's a big difference, a big change where it's more of a you gotta dig into a lot of information where you follow through, like writing warrants. I didn't write warrants when I was on patrol, so writing warrants and search warrants, that was a new thing for me.
Which you've gotten pretty proficient at.
Yeah, for a short time I've done a couple, so a handful, so which is good. I like more reps, so hopefully we get more here soon so that I can get more reps in so that I can get better at it.
Hank just wants to work.
That's true.
Activity. So yeah, that is. It's again, there's from patrol to investigator. That's just a whole other different skill set. Sometimes makes the transition hard. So. But we're getting them along nicely.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
Where are your solar glasses?
I left them in my car.
Oh no. Ting had some corrective eye stuff.
Yeah.
Now he's got they look like the glasses Johnny Knoxville
That's
wore on
right.
we're not gonna repeat that. We're not gonna swear on TV, but
Right.
it's that TV show they did silly things on.
Right. And well, luckily I'm not wearing them today because it's this nice overcast here, so it's not as bright as yesterday. So I had them on all day yesterday because it was a little bit bright, but other than that, today's good. I don't have to wear it because of the overcast, and it's just helps out with the brightness there.
234 update the suspicious.
Again, if you guys ever have any questions, just throw them right in the comments. Tanger will do his best to field them.
2013 Minnehaha Avenue East.
Whether it's about the job, laws, St. Paul, Ramsey County, we're open to questions to us. Not necessarily answer every question, but
Right. Feel free to ask something we can clear up or something.
we're over here off a weird little stretch. McKnight, Maryland turns into Lakewood Drive for a little bit. McKnight does. I never knew that until I actually became a cop, and I used to drive up and down this all the time.
So to answer Corey's question, he's asking if Minnesota now you don't have to license plates in the front. Yes, you do. In the state of Minnesota, you're required to have both plates displayed on the front and the back of the vehicle, and it has to be legible. So that is not true about no front plate.
No, you gotta have a front plate. Not saying every cop's gonna stop for it. That's a discretionary thing. There's one right there. We're in road construction, flippy UE for front plate. Our unit is we do a lot of stolens, carjackings, try to focus on the heavier crimes. We're out and about. If it's egregious, we'll make the stop. Public safety issue. Like the guy driving in down the wrong lane.
Right. And sometimes if it's, we can't stop a car if it's too dangerous on or whatever, but we'll do our best, like Thomas said. If it's a safety issue, then yes, definitely.
And the other thing is if it's an out-of-state plate, right? They're visiting or whatever, technically follows that one, which I don't think every vehicle is transferred over to Minnesota like they're supposed to be.
Right. And sometimes people just don't change their plates or whatever from out of state or something like that.
And that's tough to track, even though illegally you're supposed to change your license, your plates and stuff. How as a cop do you verify those?
But
things?
if you get stopped for any other reasons, definitely once it's been established, then we can let you know about that. So
you're a natural, Tim.
Natural to what?
This. Hey, you're such a people person.
Somewhat. I try to.
Incorrect address 266.
Yeah, and even like obstructing things that goes around your plate. If it's obstructing, blocking your plate, that's basically it's a traffic violation as well.
You can't have the tinted covers. Those look cool, but they're not. You can't have.
They look cool, but they're not legal in the state of Minnesota here. So state law states that nothing obstructing your plates. So that's where you can't have anything covering your plates. And remember, I know school's out, but there's still summer school. So if bus stops and stop signs are displayed from the bus and flashing, make sure you stop and let the kids get off the bus safely.
Yep.
This is what domestic comp verifies looking for 5.
Electric cars with no front plates, even some of that, it's still, even if it comes out from the dealership that way, it's the owner's responsibility in order to put those plates on the front and the back. So it's the owner's responsibility to do that, to put both plates on the vehicle. I understand some states do that because some states have different laws, right? It applies to different states for motor vehicles. So I would say depending on the states, make sure you keep up with the state statutes and just call and ask any agency, wherever state you are, just to get that clarified.
The DMV would know.
Or the DMV, they can answer that for you too.
234 on board orders, I'm on locked order. I'll try to over. Owner, you cancel the other thing.
What's the craziest thing, or craziest thing you've seen being a cop? The craziest thing I've seen being a cop, when I was a Crystal police officer, and we went to do a welfare check on this lady and her kid, and she was having going through a mental health crisis where she was threatening to harm people, and she had a 2-year-old infant inside her apartment with her, and then we had to do to make sure that her kid was okay, so we had to force that door. And then basically she said prior to forcing that door, she made comments of like having her knives all sharpened and ready to go to kill all the officers, whoever that comes through that door. So I could hear her chopping the door with her knife and boiling hot water. So once we breached that door to make sure that her kid was safe and people inside that apartment was safe, I was the first one to go in with a shield. So as soon as we forced that door, she was standing at a T of a hallway in an apartment with 2 knives, and I think it was a knife and a filer or something like that. or sharpener, whatever it is. But she was holding a knife, a butcher knife in that one hand and a filer in the other, and she was just waiting for us to come on in, and I told her to drop the knife multiple times, but she decided to duck into the living room where her baby was sitting and picked up her child, and at that point she put the knife on his chest and neck, and yeah. Yeah, and then we were able to take care of the kid and safely without anyone getting harmed. So I'm glad it turned out well and nobody got hurt from it. So that was the craziest thing I've seen as a police officer.
Yeah, dang, you were on FTO or?
No, this was when I was off FTO already. And
within a year, right? You were newer?
No, this one I was like probably 3 years in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somewhere 3-4 years in. So a little different. And then when I started another one was when I was 3 months in. I was still on FTO. I was like 2.5 months or 3 months into my FTO training. We had a call about someone in the park with a gun. So we responded there, and we can see a guy standing atop of the hill with a gun. And then we yelled out multiple times for him to drop the gun. And at one point, he just decided to point the gun right at us. And officers, we fired shots at him, and we once he went down, we rendered aid, went up the hill and rendered aid, and then took him to custody and went to the hospital. The thing was, it was good that he made it, and that was a good thing. He made it through, even though we later found out it was he had painted a BB gun, painted over that yellow barrel with like nail polish or something, so that it looked like a real gun. And that was it. It seems like he healed well, and that was it. The last time I heard from him.
Yeah, so you had a young career and had a couple
356,
dicey calls where obviously, without going into details, he had to take action that a lot of cops don't have to, or hope they never have to in a career.
It's not going to cop right now. I just see her. She is walking south. She just crossed past an Esco cell phone. I'm being.
Tank's got a lot of experience under that. Was it? What is it? 8-9 years now?
Yep, 8 years. Yeah. So 8 years. Well, 8.5. February will be 9. So somewhat short. Seems just like the other day I became a cop.
Get the description of that email one more time.
We are in Maplewood right now.
What email is going to be?
Shirt, black pants, black bags.
And trying to find something. We're waiting for something to happen, which I'd rather find something. I don't like waiting around.
Do we take, one of the questions here, do we take our squads home with us? Yes, we do. We take our squad home so that if anything happens, we can respond from home immediately to help out any agencies that needs help or is requesting our help.
It's not every deputy, investigators or any unit that may have to spontaneously respond from home, on call, etc. Patrols not take-home cars. So.
All right. What's our favorite snack to eat when we're on our breaks? What's your favorite snack?
It all depends on the day.
For me, it's usually a C4 or an energy drink, whatever that gets me going throughout the day. That's usually my go-to snack.
That's your snack?
Yeah, Thomas has been telling me that I should stop drinking energy drink.
You drink a lot.
I do.
I mean, I'm not.
At least once a day. I don't know. That's bad, ain't it? That's bad.
Yeah, nothing in the end's good for you.
That's true.
If I'm working, I like some seeds, ranch seeds.
Sunflower seeds?
Yeah. If I'm working.
I like pistachio. Pistachio's kind of my seed thing.
Yeah, I think the seed thing for me is just bored. Like if I'm just driving around and something to focus on. I don't chew or anything like that, so
Great. I tried chewing once. It wasn't for me.
No.
It just wasn't for me. It was nasty.
356, your machine, please.
Somebody's asking about window tints. It's crazy how dark I've seen them. Yes, window tints. They're still illegal. Like I said, it's almost it's the same thing with the plates as well. Some tents you can get doctor prescription, and if they prescribe that to you, you can have it. But if not, then it's illegal at that point.
Well, I think most patrol cars have a window tint meter. I don't, but I think most of our patrol cars do. So
yeah.
Yeah, there are some that you see that you cannot see anything through that window.
Right.
Couldn't see.
Yeah, I'm reading through some of your comments here. I'm just seeing if I can answer some questions here.
It was sunny earlier, now it's gloomy. Oh, it's starting to rain even.
Right. Well, I mean, down south, southern Minnesota, right?
Flooding.
The flooding.
See that house that went in the river?
Yeah, I did.
That was sad to see.
That was sad to see.
How do you pronounce it? Rapidan Dam?
Something.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And I saw it on the news today. They mentioned something possibly over the weekend. We're going to get like a certain amount of rain.
Oh.
That's probably going to cause a lot of flooding again. So hopefully everyone's safe down there in the southern Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think my yard needs more water.
Right? I'll have to mow at least, what, twice a week just to keep up.
Yeah, I got spots in my yard I can't mow it because it's just so wet. It's just
Right? The grass is heavy and it's bad for the lawnmower.
I'll have to go out there with the weed whipping 3-foot high grass.
Yeah. Or a zero turn. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. You guys zero turn?
No, I don't. I have a rider. So I used to have a push mower, and it took me at least almost 2 hours to do the whole yard, and then now I got a rider, and which is like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we
That's a big difference.
Ours is the same way. We live close to our father-in-law, so we dumped in a zero turn, 34-inch zero turn. It takes me like half hour to get both the lawns done.
Right.
Problem when it's wet like this, unlike the inclines, can rip up the grass if I get a little too squirrely. Like Dale Earnhardt in the
Like that guy from earlier, huh?
Winner's Circle. Yeah. Donuts.
There we go. Maybe do a wheelie on that zero turn, huh?
I don't think I didn't think so.
911 area check 3525 Century, 14 meters on your local moment.
Now you're just bad example. I mean,
I am. Yeah, no wheelies on zero turns.
I don't have to take a ride in an ambulance. Sir, how did your zero turn end up on the roof?
Well, a long story or short story?
Let me circle back down to the east side.
Go ahead.
Which, I talking to an analyst recently, that's most prevalent for stolens. So something about the east side that just tracks them.
Yeah. Growing up in when I was growing up in Mount Airy right there, they didn't have Phelan Boulevard done yet, and that was when it took way longer because you have to get on 35 and then get off of Maryland to get to the east side. But ever since they put that Phelan Boulevard in,
It's a little thoroughfare, yeah.
It's one of the best thoroughfares throughout St. Paul here. And before then, the highways on the right up 35 east south, just by Cayuga there, they didn't have any sound barriers, and it was loud.
Yeah.
So you could hear the highway and all that stuff.
Look at this bad boy.
There you go.
That thing's just waiting for us.
Right. There you go. Talk about lawnmowers, huh?
I'm curious how one of those electric riders actually work. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just not fully sold on it yet versus gas.
Right.
I need to hear a lot more.
That's true. I feel like the gas is just a little bit more powerful than the electric.
They are coming a long way, but I have heard some of them, depending on the length of the grass, if it's wet,
Yeah, it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the wet grass is always never a good thing to mow or whatever. Wait till it's a little dry.
Roger, 2 squad row.
Roger, 52.
outstanding Dodge SRT taken out of Minneapolis
Okay.
from last night, right?
Yeah.
It's like 1RT 601 or something.
I gotta check my paper.
This Tahoe's got a little rumble to it.
It does. I like this.
Wow.
This is nice. Lots of space, which is good.
Yeah, I got
Lots of
hit.
storage
I've been
space.
hitting this, and I'm glad I was. Is he good? Okay,
He's
I was
good.
gonna pull behind him.
Yeah.
I was glad I was in this when I got hit out in Minneapolis, because I think if I was in my Explorer or old Durango, it would have been probably total.
Right.
Hey,
Katie, can I flank there? This is.
Yep.
Oh God. Oh. All right.
35 in Maryland, and it is.
Yeah, they checked the forecast. Are we gonna get some thunderstorm today?
I heard, and maybe today, tomorrow.
Okay.
Then again, I don't always trust the weather. That's like the one job you can be wrong majority of the time and still retain it.
Right.
That actually reminds me of a story. I had a father-in-law tells a story of my brother-in-law. And growing up, he wanted to be a trash man.
Oh, there you go.
Well, because their trash got picked up on Thursdays in Maplewood.
Yeah.
So he thought you only had to work Thursdays.
Well, that'd be nice.
Hey, good thought process.
Exactly. Why not? I mean, that only makes sense, right? Thursday is a trash day.
Oh. Yeah, there you go. I got work Thursdays.
Sorry, miles 79694.
I've used the LUC.
Low activity. Oh, it's a little far away.
On to.
Hey, would you mind taking that harassment from Rick? I'm going to have him do something. I'll click.
Yeah, talk about like just going back to lawnmowers again. We gotta
Thank you.
just one of our backseaters, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Tony Ferraro, mentioned that back in his time he had to cut acreage without it was just a push mower. I can't imagine what you had to go through for that one. Well, technology has changed. Technology has updated a lot throughout time.
29.
Welfare check at 1928 University and Unit 11. Property manager is there. States that the female social worker is requesting a welfare check. Name of Marguerite. Hispanic female under 30 is 5'8". She is also a heavy drug user.
Drug user.
Wait, I covered.
It's always a tricky one. Define drug user, because now
Right.
marijuana.
Truck user, right? Such a broad thing. Marijuana, it's legal now, so. But it is illegal to smoke marijuana and drive, so do not smoke and drive.
That will never change.
Right. That is equivalent of DWI. So, if you're smoking marijuana, just stay home.
Call for 4710 Cumberland Street. Patient slipped out of the chair, so I think it's about 200 feet.
Hi, copy.
Alright, we're coming back west over here, Maryland, towards Dale.
Hi, copy. Thank you.
And right here, to our left here, that's Marydale Lake. I remember back as a kid, we would bike here and
2267.
jump in there and swim. We're not supposed to, but I mean, kids, we didn't make the best decision at that point. But
Yeah.
Will you send me a number for POR?
Decent fishing.
The address will
I
be
jumped in the water for a bit, so not bad.
Eli Road in Little Canada, 2263.
Yeah, you know, growing up, you always did things you were probably not supposed to. Was it Long Beach? The Long Beach Reserve up there
Yeah.
in New Brighton that had that
Long
takeover
lake,
the other
yeah.
day. Yeah. So they got connected to the lake. They got a stream that comes into it, and there's a bridge that you can jump into it where it's like super deep.
Wow.
Even though you're not supposed to. Well, young Thomas may have used to do that.
Right. Yeah, we used to jump off that Marydale dock right over there. And there was this big drop off right by that dock. It was well over probably, I don't know, 20 feet, I would assume, back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Can I get my kitchen?
278, case number 116334.
If you're in downtime, you should like help with the roads.
That's right.
It's one thing bad thing about Minnesota. The winter's terrible roads.
Right. Well, and the thing usually in the winter time, we get the snow, right? Spring, summer, we get road construction. So it's kind of,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just, the roads never get a break, I guess.
Road construction. That's got to be one of the biggest industries in Minnesota. I swear, it's always. What is Minnehaha's been shut down?
Yeah, Minnehaha's been shut down for a while now. On the east side.
94 out by Woodbury's getting a lot of work done to
Yeah.
it.
It's a lot of work. I think they're closing down, I believe, 36 westbound, I think during some nights. I forgot what nights it is, but usually driving up, they'll have signs posted and closed from a certain time.
Sure.
I'm 8364.
358. 364.
Yeah, I see 940 Earl Street. Tom's granddaughter was dropped off by officers. She came in, threw objects, poured oil around the house. Currently is outside near a blue Chevy Cruze. Party is Isabel Ramirez, white female, 16 years old, wearing a cream sweater, gray yoga pants. Medics are en route.
358 copy. 364 copy.
91501.
A lot of pendings, but a lot of teleserve.
Level 411.
So, teleserve, is that service through the phone or?
Phone, online reporting, etc. Yeah.
Yep. So a lot of St. Paul has is it a, what do they call it? Is it a dispatch program or something like that? You can do self-report over.
Yeah, they
online.
got each precinct has someone who does all the online reportings or over the phone. So I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know what the criteria it needs to meet for those to happen. Unfortunately, a big department like that has to utilize stuff like that. It can be frustrating for victims, especially, it could be a theft or
stolen car. And
sometimes stolen cars are done. I guess that's a matter of how they want to do it. But yeah, it's just some of those calls they have to kind of take a different way so they can make sure the squads are available to the priority type ones. And it doesn't always feel the best, but
I think in order to operate and efficiently serve the community, I mean, that's what you kind of have to do, right?
It helps alleviate pressure off the street coppers. So,
and just to kind of go on with the higher priorities and then move down from there.
As you've seen it can be dead, and then it takes just one or two good calls and all your squads are tied up.
That's true.
309.
And being in law enforcement, especially on the road here, every day's a new day. You never know, right? All it takes is that one call and or whatever, and then things change from there on out. So every day's not the same. It's always interesting.
So where'd you go to high school then?
I went to Como.
Okay.
I went to Como. Then I went to Park Center and graduated there in Brooklyn Park. So it's a big difference now. I just drove by Como High School the other day, and just the updates that they did on that school was a lot different than what I was used to back in the early 2000s. So
I feel like every school has gotten a facelift. White Bear Lake just got a huge. I think they. I guess I think I heard their new one is a combined high school, maybe
Yeah.
not. But it's huge. I just drove past that the other day on the way to work. And I was,
Right.
wow, North St. Paul got add-ons.
Right. Washington, right off of Rice, right there, Rice in front, right? They're building a whole new.
And I'll be on PT.
Seems like they're building a a new addition right off of Rice, right there. So.
Yep. Mercy Johnson High School got theirs several years back.
Yeah.
They're that was it that STEM or STEAM program now or something?
Yeah.
My middle school I went to is actually gone. They got rid of that and rebuilt something else there.
Yeah.
Maplewood Middle.
Right in Franklin Elementary, right off of. It used to be right by in that neighborhood where I used to grow up, right off Mount Airy. Now it's like the Mount Airy Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
So they took majority half of that out. That used to be a gym right off of Jackson and Valley. They took that out, and I guess the school built a new gym. I don't know if the school still. I don't know if it's still a school, but I know for sure that the Boys and Girls Club of Mount Airy is still there. I still see people there for sure. This is University in Western. I think it was just last weekend. They had the I think it was like the Thai night street food or night market here last week.
Really?
Yeah.
Where'd they have
over the
that
weekend. It was kind of patchy all around here. They shut off certain roads down here off of University. They let local markets and other vendors come out and kind of have that that nightlife vibe, street food.
Did you come down?
No, we drove by it. I didn't stop by, but I drove by it.
Were you working?
No, I wasn't working. So I was just like, I wanted to stop by, but I had errands to run, so I didn't stop by. I kind of regret it. I should have stopped by because it would have been nice. So over here, last weekend, they had the whole parking lot here all cleared out, and it was just little markets and games and stuff that they have.
Exterior. $100.
Yeah, we're starting to get in that time of the year where all the town festivals and carnivals and parades are going to be happening.
It's nice when they have it this time of the year. I mean,
yeah, well,
weather's good, right?
Yeah, and then they do it at the end of the summer, and then
it's the end.
It's like the fair. Long State Fair, but it's now it's the end of summer.
Right. And was it Jeff, Mary Ann Thomas from East Texas? Hi, thank you for joining us on live here. Thanks for watching. Also, everyone from everywhere else. I know there's a lot of people watching here.
It is full. We are digging, doing our best to even find something.
9273.
9273.
You can cancel 9275. I'm unable to locate anybody in need of services.
Let's make sure she's across the road.
Yep. My brother used to live here, one of the houses on Fuller here, and I didn't realize how close some of these houses were. It's almost like you could open the window and reach over and touch the other house. And
334.
Right, I just didn't realize how close these houses were built.
Class 3, somebody.
I think one of the first stones I recovered was over here. Actually, on Fuller. Followed it all the way down in Egan. It was all over the place.
334 in a squad to assist. Originally came in as a DOC at 304 Wheelock Parkway East SBT. Staff reporting a drunk male in the parking lot refusing to leave, being verbally aggressive. Black male, 40s, last seen wearing blue jeans, white, orange, Nike.
Christy Bartek says that she
loves
your driving, Thomas. So
he was requesting
that's
medics.
a good thing, right?
I don't know.
60 years old. He was uncooperative with TC and medics.
Depends what kind of punctuation you
334
use.
copy.
That's true.
I like to think when things need to happen, I get there.
Right.
And it's westbound 334 to the DOC at 304 Wheelock
lot of
Parkway.
speed bumps,
Paramedics are en
yeah.
route.
Put a tango.
The way this computer's keying.
359 Tango.
Throw me off.
Clear report, and you can send me the case on overlock.
Copy 1512.
Shout out to is it Des
Traffic.
Bags, Liverpool, United Kingdom.
5612.
Thanks for watching.
What time is it there?
36 in perimeter.
Yeah, what
Iowa,
time is it there in
Ida
the
Queen
UK?
Boy 307. Plates are mentioned.
It's up in Central. Plates not mentioned.
Yep.
I've been myself and several people with squads will be with him.
Copy that.
Sometimes hard to do, but sometimes it's a lot easier to drive when you're trying to dig into stuff. Almost like a slow prowl.
Yeah.
Definitely as a new cop, I used to just drive fast. And I'm like, well, I ain't gonna find, I'm not
Right.
gonna find anything. Just,
Well, like you can't even see
I
it,
can't
right?
read the plate.
Yeah, sometimes it kind of takes some time to adjust. I mean, you kind of got to figure out.
know when to drive slow, so you can pick up on the details, and know when to baja it over a curb.
That's true.
There's one benefit of the Tahoe: if I got up and over a curb or a median, it's not gonna scrape.
Right.
Always cringe. You hear the bottom, you're like, oh no.
Yeah, that scrape goes. That goes. Grr, and you're like, oh man.
I'm gonna have to buy the county garage lunch.
Exactly. Sometimes when I do that to my squad, I feel so bad. I park on the side and just look under and like, hopefully everything's okay. And tell
At
my
the
squad I'm sorry.
tailgate, I'm sorry.
Tell my squad that I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scrape it.
Ultimately, they're a tool.
That's true.
We take care of them, but sometimes in the midst of police work, things happen.
Things happens and it's repairable, right?
I've been seeing a few more work trucks stolen lately, so all you construction workers, keep your keys on you.
Yeah. Keys, make sure you lock your cars. I know a lot of like the suspects or victims, basically they're construction workers. They leave their cars unlocked, and suspects tends to open their door and steal their wallets and keys, right? So,
Well, you'd be surprised how many firearms are stolen out of cars.
exactly. So firearms, make sure you don't leave them in your car. Always take them home with you. Lock in a safe.
So, you ever hear, you always wonder how, those people get their hands on firearms, the ones that aren't supposed to have them. A lot of times they're stolen.
That's true.
So, firearm storage practices is a good thing to tighten up if you're a gun owner.
That's right. Always make sure don't leave them in the car. It only takes a second for you to bring it in and put it in the safe so that it's safely there.
Don't leave them in the gas station bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
It happens.
It happens, I'm sure.
It does.
But-
It does. You get called. Someone left a fire pistol sitting
That's
on
right.
the toilet.
Yep. Or even when I was out in patrol, they would call about people leaving guns in like hotels and things like that too.
There's a tow company we have up in the contract cities, and there's a lot of calls for service for vehicles towed, and there's a firearm in it. And it's
Right.
like, whoa.
And when I was on patrol, I remember getting those calls. I think probably 3-4 of them almost a week.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
There's all those
378
fancy
Parkway.
gun storage solutions for cars. My motto is if it's going to be parked overnight or parked extended, you shouldn't trust it in the car, because gotta keep in mind, bad guys, people are looking to steal, it's a full-time job. They are always working and scheming how to defeat, whether it's stealing a car, how to steal the cars. They're always researching, always finding the new trends, how to break into things, right? That's what they do. So, and a lot of times law enforcement, we're always playing catch up onto the things that they figure out.
Right. And it's just like the big trend of that Honda and Kias, right? It went it went viral on like YouTube or social media, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you got your criminals are able to break in a car within seconds, right, or within a minute, and they take off with your car. So,
Which I think that's getting less prevalent in Ramsey County. I don't know about many. I still see it throughout the metro, but I don't feel. I know we have as many attempts, right? Because they're attempting to do it, but they're not successful due to the new Kia Hyundai software update. But I know some parts in the country are just starting to see that trend kick up.
Wow.
You know, it started in Milwaukee. Started in Milwaukee like a good year, I think, before it like hit its mark in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Those trends always take a while to kind of expand out throughout the country.
To answer a question, somebody asked if we can carry firearms in your car. You can carry firearms, but we'll say, like we were saying, best practice is to don't leave them in your car because, right, people break into cars all the time, and basically when your gun's in your car and they break in, right, they can take your gun. So you just don't want that to happen, and you don't want that gun to fall into the wrong hands. So just make sure to do your due diligence and take the gun, and if you're going to park it for a while or whatever, just make sure you bring it inside and put it in a safe.
And I know that's tough for blue-collar workers, right, all the guys in work trucks, individuals. A lot of times they carry, right, because they I know my brother-in-law does small appliance. It doesn't always end up in the most favorable areas, so you carry it for protection, but it doesn't help you if it's not on you, so if you're going to carry it.
You had the following place.
Right, and if, like I said,
And it's embarrassing to have to make that phone call, hey, my firearm was stolen.
it is, and it's just, at that point, I mean, just something like that. I mean, I can imagine if it would happen to me, I'll probably freak out because, right, you just don't want it to fall into the wrong hands, that's all.
I just recently recovered a stolen firearm.
Yeah.
On to new subject. Over off Selby, Dale area. Hitting all the St. Paul precincts.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is precinct.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah,
The CAT team a couple weeks ago during the funeral for Officer Mitchell, we got the honor to assist and help cover their city while their officers got to go honor their fallen brother, and definitely was you get a good appreciation for what they got to deal with over there. So.
Here's the share.
364.
Is that minus 10? I'm on a rolling page.
If you can see Teng right now, he is very into making sure all your questions are
Right,
answered.
I'm
He's
reading it.
scanning and
Scrolling just to make sure I answer, or have a chance to answer everyone's questions. If I missed it, put it back on the comments area so that I can, we can go over it or clarify or explain it. If not, if we don't have an answer for it, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we're getting a lot of comments about like getting gun safes in trunks and stuff like that. So if you can afford one, I heard they're quite pricey, but I mean, if you wanted to go that route and you can afford one, a gun safe in the trunk or whatever, then I think that should work. But either way, it's still, if they steal your car, they take it. At that point, it's kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah.
What's this place? Steak and seafood. I haven't seen this before.
I have not.
Looks good. Pictures. I mean, I'm just a picture guy.
JNC?
Cajun steak and seafood.
Did it look open?
I don't know. Picture. I'm a picture guy.
Picture's real to me.
That's true.
I was saying I'm 23.
Copy 1523.
Makes me wish we would have started the live during our little truck incident.
Yeah?
I feel bad.
I don't know. That started earlier today, 11 something.
Yeah, that was about that, yeah.
Yeah. And even, I'm sure you, all of you backseaters could probably hear the radio as well. It's been kind of a, I would say a slow day, I guess. A little quiet on the radio. Look at that question here. So one of the questions our backseater asked here is, what made you want to become a cop, and what is the most memorable moment being a law enforcement officer?
Well, go ahead.
Well, at first I didn't know what I was gonna go to school for, but I was like, I wanted to go to school, and I took one of those what do they call those pre-test things where you score strong at whatever. I score high in criminal justice, but then I was kind of like saying I wanted to be a paramedic at one point, or a firefighter, and then a cop later on. But as I was going to school and through college, I decided that I want to become a cop, and that was probably my calling. So that's how it all started, and I always wanted to help people, probably make a change or make a difference in their lives, and that's how it all got started. And that's how I got into becoming a cop. And then most memorable thing, there's a lot of little things. I'll say little things that helps out the most is that when I was able to make a difference for this lady in her life, just to cook her some eggs and breakfast, because we did a welfare check while I was in Crystal, and I'm sure most of you have seen it. It's a post. It went viral. We did a welfare check on this lady, and basically she hasn't eaten for days, and she was hungry. So I decided that I asked her if she had some eggs and butter, whatever, pan, and I told her that, you know what, I am not a chef, but I can whip up some pretty good eggs. So that gave me the opportunity. I was able to cook for her, and she loved it, so she didn't complain. She ate all of it, so I think the eggs was good. And I think that was a big difference. It was good because I was able to make a difference. She was happy. We didn't have to do anything further than that, but we did help her and get her some services so that she can get her needs satisfied with food and somebody taking care of her. So that's one of my most memorable and satisfying moments in my law enforcement career. What about you, Thomas?
Well, I got a video when I was really young. For some reason, said I was going to be a police officer when I was older. So that was always the running joke. But I always had an interest in it, especially in high school. More so, I'm the first cop in my family. It's definitely not something we had, wasn't born into it or anything. And I have some family members that skirted the line. So I think I didn't want to live that type of lifestyle. I knew I couldn't work behind a desk. I did try other jobs. I sold sales, retail management. None of it was for me, and finally went back and finished my degree, and here I am. I don't know, 8 years later, whatever it is now.
Yeah. Well.
And memorable. I don't know. There's a lot. I guess to find memorable. Yeah, there's been a lot of. At the CAT team, we've had a lot of wild situations. A memorable one was. It's probably one of our more notable cases when we were starting up and the carjackings were still going on over here. There was a carjacking in Crocus Hill where a lady was following home and her kids were in the back seat, and they attempted to steal her car, and they got it, but she was luckily able to get her kids out. And through great work between our team, and we were able to locate it. Found the car, 94, Joe killed it. We chased it down to TCF Bank. One occupant got bailed out, and then one of our officers was able to get locations on that vehicle. And in a snowstorm, CAT team, along with Under Sheriff Martin and Light, responded out to Minneapolis, found it. Mike Martin found it first in the area, and they all fled on foot, but we got them all in custody. And they were involved in quite a few carjackings, those individuals. But I got to hear the husband of that victim speak at a conference before, and listen to him speak. That at the time it didn't feel as super notable, but to hear him explain what his wife went through, that one will always sit with me. So I've got to meet him twice now, but that's scary to have your kids in the car. But I'll always remember that. More so his explanation of it afterwards, right? When we're in the mix of it, you're not really thinking of all those things. You're just we're gonna catch bad guys. We're gonna catch bad guys, and we caught bad guys that day. And Under Sheriff Martin took a fall in the snow. We always laugh about that, but we were new. We leaned on him heavily going into Minneapolis. He obviously spent a lot of his career over there, and he brought us right to it and found them first, and it was a lot of great team effort on that. But that was a long day. It was, I think it was like a 40-minute commute.
Wow.
Code commute to get
That's long.
Yeah, it was that. The weather was that. It wasn't that rough in the morning when it all happened, but as the day progressed. But with a crime like that, that's one we're gonna push heavy on. So.
Right. Usually when you're running, especially code with lights and sirens on, when you're running more than 10 minutes, that's when it gets a little dicey when you're running that far.
It's exhausting.
It gets exhausting. The noise, the sirens, it gets draining. So, yeah, it does. It takes a lot of kind of out of you. Usually, I mean, even being a cop for 8 years, sometimes when you hit those lights and sirens and you're going fast, your heart kind of starts, your adrenaline starts racing again. So that's always something that you're always going to experience as a police officer.
Yeah, we've had suspects attempt to flee and get stuck in ponds and start their car on fire. I mean, the sheer will suspects will do to get away sometimes it's led to a lot of crazy incidents.
So the desperation of trying to get away even though when they're caught, and they're just making it worse for themselves.
Absolutely. And thankfully, we haven't really had to deal with that type of crime.
Yeah.
I mean, St. Paul, it's been, numbers have stayed low, so.
Which is good.
Those are, a carjacking at gunpoint or being ripped out of your car, those are tough ones to get over, I imagine, for a victim. There's probably a lot of what ifs you probably run through your head on those. And
yeah.
Pre-code animal complaint clears this, please.
Copy.
Here on Marshall, over on the West District, about 3:30. Probably wrap up here soon if it stays mellow.
Hopefully we can get into something hopefully soon here so that you backseaters can get something to see something. But sometimes it is what it is. This is kind of the day. Sometimes it picks up, sometimes it doesn't. So
right now the numbers are down, so it's
right.
Boredom equals safety. So
that's true.
What cities did you work when you were on patrol? What cities?
When I was on patrol, I worked. So White Bear Township was the main city that I worked for. But I'm always helping out with Dennis Heights. That's where I spend most of my time, just helping out my partners, especially just the volume of, especially right at Dennis Heights, where that basically any retail, big stores, strip malls area, you bring in a lot of people from different from all over the city, and then that's basically where you have your crime, your theft. That's where it typically happens. So
in the summer, township gets really busy up by the nature centers and
nature center,
Bald Eagle
Lake up there. You get a lot of traffic, a lot of people speeding. Boaters are speeding with their trailers, so off of Hugo Road. So if you're a boater and you're going up to Bald Eagle Lake, please slow down on Hugo Road up there. Residents has been making multiple complaints, and I sat up there and stopped multiple vehicles on speeding. So make sure that we keep ourselves safe and drive safely through residential roads, because we want to be careful. There's little kids that will just pop out sometimes, so just make sure that we keep our eyes open and drive safely.
Is it just me, or have you ever noticed this huge storage place right here?
It looks like an office building, but I didn't notice that it was a storage place.
I'm looking at it, I'm like,
right, well, it says it on the sign, extra space storage place.
Observation skills down.
Right. Well, anything looks, higher than 2-story. I think it's an office building. At that point.
That's a huge storage facility.
Right.
There's maybe a good one. Hang on. Yeah. Shooting people. Came out as an assault.
Okay.
There's just a lot of yelling and saying shoving people.
Oh, shoving.
It says shooing people, and I was like,
oh,
shoot. So I did see a
Looking for a central squad that can break certified.
lot of us
Female shoving people around.
CAT team members are also part of it. It's called IATI. It's International Association. Is it International Auto Theft? Yeah, that's bad. I should know it. Essentially, it's the International Auto Theft Investigator Association.
Yeah.
There's trainings and stuff we do, and one of the members who resides out of Michigan I think within the past week, they were going after an active stolen, and he had located it, was following it, airing out, kind of, you know, a lot of the things we do, and 3 suspects got out and ambushed him, shot and killed him.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times you might hear people say, you know, stolen vehicles a property crime. It's far from it. It's some of the most sketchy things we can do because it's so spontaneous, right?
Right.
Once you get on a stolen,
Right. And
depending on the suspect, what they're willing to do to get away.
And sometimes, usually, yes, it's a stolen property, but what do they do with it, right? Basically, when they steal a car, they're in a stolen car, they commit like your robberies, your other like
shootings,
your homicides, and that's where these stolen cars are being used. So, yes, it's a property crime, but what comes along with it is crimes against people, right? These are more dangerous crimes against people, and we want to make sure that we can prevent that and stop that before it's happening.
Absolutely. And it's scary. It's sobering thoughts without to Michigan police officers out there and anyone that knew that officer. That is go from a daily routine job aspect that you might do every day, and law enforcement can flip a switch.
Right. And even this year alone, I mean, just in Minnesota here, how many funerals we've been to? You know, just it's a handful.
Year and a half,
it's just way more than
you ever want to.
And it's always a sad moment when you hear about it. So
we're gonna check one more place and then probably wrap her up. Send you guys on your way for the afternoon. You guys want to check in and see?
Clear my report.
Uh-oh. He can barely handle that done. That was a big boy.
I saw somebody was like getting dragged over there.
Dangerous condition. 2 vehicles speeding through the neighborhood. An alley behind the address has been going on for an hour. Vehicles in red VW and a black car with silver hood.
So we're gonna go check this area out. Someone made a call about a vehicle speeding suspicious.
Say about 2 years ago, that was a huge indicator for stolen cars.
Yeah.
That activity's kind of slowed down over here, but we used to see a lot of dangerous condition calls, and sure enough, it'd be stolen Kia with a bunch of juveniles hanging out the windows.
Hanging out the window. That's kind of the cue at that point. You'll know it's a stolen vehicle is when you got juveniles hanging out or sitting on the hood and just driving around, and that's when odds are it's going to be a stolen vehicle. Driving around, that one Kia we just passed, had a club on it, so I mean deterrence is always good, right? Mm-hmm. So making it, just being aware. And a lot of these suspects and criminals, they like to take opportunity, right? If there's an opportunity, they'll take it. So whenever you don't give them opportunity, odds are it's the less of things happening or cars getting broken into. And usually a lot of them are when people don't forget to lock car doors. I forget to lock my car door too, so always make sure you lock your car doors. Anything can happen. That's what they do. They walk up and just pull on car doors, and once they get in, they'll toss the
she
car.
stopped attacking people. She's now screaming that she's going to damage everything.
Tank's tip of the day.
Tip of the day.
420 Meridian.
Tip of the day. I don't know. Maybe stay dry if this storm comes in.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this guy knows what it wants to do.
Right.
We're gonna float towards this dangerous condition, and then we'll call her. I just want to see what.
Seems like it's about that time. Traffic's building up. People's getting off of work and going to work right now. As you guys can all see.
Okay, good.
This is
I think we're gonna be here.
standstill. Yeah.
Gridlock.
Cool. This light's not changing, or
241.
It changed, man.
241.
I think it's
Pretty sure my tire popped on the highway, so I'm gonna be possibly a little late to this call.
Copy.
the first time one of those little smart cars that came out. I was wondering like how did
246234.
I
I'm
don't
getting an update from a caller.
just kind of curious about like the safety wise.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's so
my
small,
top
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
234, heavy.
I feel claustrophobic in it.
All right. It feels like no trunk space. All you do is just sit there and go.
But there's people out
But
there
it
that
works.
like 'em.
Yeah, they like them. Seen multiple smart cars a day, it seems like.
I don't think we're even gonna get there.
Where's that? Kind of far out.
1200 block ahead.
All right.
7-year-old female found in the parking lot.
Heavy. 359 Tango.
359 Tango.
You can send me the AMA. We was just over there with the guy. We can check on him.
Copy. We'll just want to assist medics in 359 Tango, Wheelock Parkway, and it's going to be right at the top of the exit ramp. State has been advised for man down.
Will advise.
Copy 1545.
I'm with him.
Copy 1545.
This is, I think it's probably because they're turning, so
Yeah.
it's probably holding up the traffic here.
65.
Starler. 68. 111 Village Center Drive.
I think we're gonna make it right here.
Yeah.
Covering the water drive.
St. Paul should look at adding an arrow to that.
That's true.
65 copy.
Minnehaha.
Yeah, maybe
Copy all five.
it's time to kind of reconsider this intersection here, huh?
2266.
Add some turning arrows.
2265 copy. Thank you. Two for one. I'll be staging my vehicle at St. Clair and 35. I'll be jumping in with 246.
Copy.
There you go. Flat tires, I guess, slow him down.
Yeah.
44.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, right? When you're going go to a call and your tires blow out, and then you're out and you can't respond and can't help
Over
people
the
out.
lot. She
That's
had
always
also
the worst
called in
feeling.
saying that the company is holding her hostage. They threatened her with a
Kudos
gun.
to that guy
She
for
did not see it.
Yeah.
And
Big
for the
man.
caller,
Yeah.
she's now attempting to set a vehicle on fire.
I had it's like when I was a while ago, I was in Crystal, and then we had a pursuit going down southbound Highway 100, and
Clear off 341.
for some reason my squad car overheated, and I was out of the J. So
Tahoe?
no, it's a Ford Explorer. It was on a little EcoBoost,
Ew.
and it overheated because of the turbo. Some gasket blew.
In Crystal?
Yeah, in Crystal. And I was out of the chase. That was not fun at all. Just being out of it, you can't help your partner chase.
Before
Just wait for
you want
the
me
bus
to
to
turn
cross.
fire to stand by.
Right.
No plates, no further description. Once St. Paul, just the area.
234. I'm just pulling up.
Copy.
Have a good night. 1549.
No, I'm not hearing anything.
All right.
Should we wrap her up?
Yeah. I think so. It's about that time, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Good first ride.
Well, backseaters, it was a pleasure to meet everyone, and thanks for hanging out with us, and I appreciate you all, and we'll see you all next week.
We will do our best to be back more often. Thanks for coming.